When will the sadness end? Those words are written on an old page in my diary. The darkness that plagued me, the self-loathing I wore like a suit of armor coming back to me as I read those words scrawled in a jagged line across the top of the page, an outburst of desperation, a sneak peek of frustration, a mirror that shows me where the sadness still lives. Following this page, things become more and more ominous, suicide notes and step-by-step plans to destroy the lives of everyone who loved me by ending my own, drowning in guilt and tears and sorrow, unable to understand how anyone could look at me and still expect me to accept myself, a horrible self-loathing. A question comes to mind again and again: when will the sadness end? So clearly I remember opening up my wrists, waking up in the hospital, crying because life was not supposed to be so painful, unable to breathe without crying, unable to scream without dying, unable to reclaim my own sanity without falling into the fire that was trying to consume me, asking my therapist, my best friend, the universe, the internet, when will the sadness end? 1 year later, and I pushed these images into a box labeled "When I Was Bad," aka days and moments I do not want to remember for fear of triggering the monster once more. You see, it's been a year since I've woken up wanting to be dead, a year since I've asked myself when the sadness would end, and I can finally answer my own pleas for hope, but not with the answer I hoped. You see, the sadness will never really end. You see, depression is not like to move around a lot, so once it's in you, it is there forever, but there comes a time when you have to force it to live in the basement apartment rather than in your bed. There comes a time when you need to stuff your pain into a box and put it on a storage cabinet. One day you will understand that there's more to life than wallowing in your own self-pity with the curtains closed. You will one day understand that even as the darkness was suffocating you, light was fighting its way through the winding road to your heart to find you. You just didn't know it at the time. I wish I could go back and tell you so that you didn't have to suffer. My love, there was always so much worth living for. See, New York City lights will guide you home. In the mornings you feel less than whole, and Coldplay will sing you to sleep on the nights you fall into bed exhausted from living. Mascara smeared around your eyelids, empty because you gave yourself away one too many times, and you don't know if there's anything left for yourself anymore. When your heart races and you lose your breath, hyperventilating, the anxiety of living stripping you to your core, remember the dust and the ash that made you. Remember your home in the cosmos. Remember that you're going to find a place where you belong one day, and you will know joy, and you will know happiness, and until then you are going to write your name in all your temporary living spaces, saying, look at this, I lived and I tried, and this is not where I belong, but I found a piece of myself here I did not know I was missing. I found out that I can depend on myself more than anything. My love, find your missing pieces, live in different spaces, and one day you will walk into the waiting arms of home, and you will understand that the sadness will never really end, but rather melt away like candle wax, barely flickering rather than burning brightly. Your sadness will die slowly until you can't even remember its name, and you are going to be okay. You are going to be okay, I promise. And I know, because I have been there. And I've asked myself that question, and I am still here, and I'm still breathing, and I'm smiling, and I'm laughing, and my God, I have never felt more alive.